Alright guys, welcome to game number 2 of the IESF Grand Finals, Indonesia versus Philippines. So, after a solid performance from game 1, we're here with the Digi ban again. This time they're banning out the Benedetta, which is just a solid ban. Again, they have more to play with here because Indonesia banned the 1-1 and they banned the Joy. Now that they're in the first pick, they actually don't need to care about the 1-1, they need to care about the Joy because they have first pick. They can just leave it to the Philippines to ban. So Fanny is going to be banned out. Joy and 1-1 will be 100% just banned out. This is so Indonesia can actually look for something different here. Just start nailing down the heroes of Philippines.
Impact he had on these team fights was the key to Philippines' victory. And because the product was caught in that top lane, the Lord was given over to Indonesia. And Del Rosario had to fall as well in that skirmish. Again, it comes down to that pick-off game that Philippines needs to be aware of.
Yeah, so they ban out just the heroes that can really distract and can soak in a lot, buying a lot of time, like the Uranus, the Benedetta. This is interesting because we haven't seen a Uranus ban at all in ISF in the first phase. And like, yeah, 1-1, Joy, just gonna be banned out. Indonesia first pick, and it's gonna be the Eve, yeah, Eve, YuZhong, just one of those two. They decide to go for the Eve because of how much utility it can provide, how much, it just provides so much. The damage is unreal, dude. It's a burst hero now. Usually it's just utility, but now you deal so much damage on the Eve. Philippines, see, this is where it's like this is really good by Indonesia because they didn't ban the Kaja intentionally, I believe, right? I have never seen Villaluna on the Kaja in this meta, right? You guys are probably gonna say like, oh, dude, he picked it up in season 4 of MPLPH, but yada yada. But it's been a long time since I've seen Villaluna on a Kaja, right? So yeah, I mean, Indonesia are completely fine with letting it go here. And honestly, according to Coach Chico as well, he said that it didn't really look like Villaluna was comfortable on that Kaja, and I have to agree. There are a lot of like movements here in the game as well, where Villaluna tried to go for some picks with Divine Judgment. Yeah. And Philippines pick up the Farsa again, which is, in my opinion, it's a solid pickup for them. It's a good pickup for them. But I feel like they could have just gone for like a Beatrix first, because the Farsa is a bit too, like. Okay, think about it this way. For me, right, this is how I think. The Eve was already picked up. Going for a Farsa here, it's not really a pure counter to the Eve. It's an alright matchup. Very vulnerable, just like the Eve. And the Eve's already picked up, so there's no risk of the Farsa being picked up by Indonesia. There's no real reason to go for this. But again, this is the pick that they usually go for in the first phase. I personally would have liked to see the Beatrix a bit more, right? Because if they did go for the Beatrix, I think they would have more room. They would have more room to draft here. They could actually pick the Lapu, which they actually go for, I think, here, right? And because they saw the Farsa, they went straight in. They went Kadita and YuZhong. There's not much the Farsa can do, guys, because it's 2 Petrifies, 2 CC abilities as well with the Breath of the Ocean and the Furious Dive from YuZhong and Kadita. If you bring the Purify, you can Purify 1. That's it. Once the other one comes in with the Petrify, you're done, right? That's why I don't really like the Farsa, especially considering that the YuZhong that was not banned was let go. Yeah, they go for the Lapu. So I think if they went for the Beatrix here, it would have been a bit better, right? Because now it just puts them in a very weird position. Because Beatrix is going to be banned. I remember this. Beatrix is banned. I forgot whether it's Philippines who bans it out or Indonesia, but we'll see it here. We're just going to skip it over to see. Yeah, okay. So Philippines bans out the Beatrix. They don't want to pick out the Beatrix. And they know that the enemy team can go for the Beatrix. So with the Beatrix banned out, Indonesia bans the Granger, which is very interesting, right? Because like you already have such a good dive comp. Yeah, for me, I'm trying to think about like the Granger ban. I guess it's really good to like open up the map with the range, good poke as well, good kiting with the composition that they have. Gurakai ban gave them a lot of problems by Philippines. And final ban, it's the Claude. Okay, yeah, the Claude. Very good pickup against this kind of composition because the real world inflation, if you walk to it, you get immobilized. So the Claude with the battle mirror image, you're a blink hero, right? You blink with your battle mirror image. Same goes with the Kadita. Your blink just baits out the Kadita, can bait out the YuZhong, can bait out the Eve. So banning out the Claude here is just a really solid move. And basically, they're forcing Philippines to pick either Irithel or yeah, I said it in the cast as well. They can go either for the Irithel or the Leslie. They go for the Leslie. I don't really like this pick at all. There's so much dive, more dive than game one, and yeah, you're a bit more vulnerable here. I don't like this pick. I would have liked the Irithel pick a bit more. I honestly I would have actually just I would Beatrix, you know, Beatrix would be solid. Yep, and I predicted the Melissa as well, because the Melissa is just solid, right? They already have two divers here. They need someone to really stay in the back line with the Eve, and if you go for the Brody, you can't stun up the Lapu. You're not going to be able to dish out that much damage onto the Lapu. The Melissa has that go away to prevent something, to prevent the engage. Lapu can't really... Well, Lapu can still actually jump in because of the anti-CC in his Bravest Fighter kit. The Martis is very interesting. So this is like a... It's weird, because if you look at this, you wouldn't think like front to back, right? But I don't know. It is still kind of a front to back composition, but instead of having defensive heroes covering that back line, right? Okay, let's say this is the back line. Okay, this is the back line. And this is the front line. This is a traditional front-to-back composition, right? Where the front just soaks in damage, CCs, whatever, and the back line just dishes out the damage. But what they're doing here is, technically, it is still a front-to-back, because they're still going to go... Okay, so... I don't know how to explain this properly. It's a front to back, not in the sense that they want to kill the frontliners first of the enemy team. They want to go for the back line. These two dive heroes are going to be able to dive into the back line, right? That's their main win condition here for Indonesia. But with this dive, it basically forces all the members to focus on these three members, and it leaves Melissa and the Eve open, right? So that's why I said it's kind of a front to back in terms of the formation. The backliners are going to be completely covered, even though Indonesia doesn't have a frontliner, like a proper frontliner. They are all just dive heroes that want to go in, but these two are still going to be covered. Why? Because of the amount of aggression and because of the amount of resources that Philippines need to put onto the frontliners of Indonesia compared to the backline, because they need to secure, safety for both of their backliners. There you go. Hopefully you guys understand. It's a bit complex. Again, when you get to high-level games, these guys are really good at like just creating strats and playing these strats out. The Baksha.
2 games, 2 points. It's match point for the Indonesians. Indonesian supporters, let me hear you.
And let's just move on. Okay.
Begins now. Let's see if the Philippines can do it to put themselves on the board. It's Indonesia's Taz on the orange buff. Philippines Del Rosario starting on the purple.
2 petrifies available for Indonesia to make plays around. And for the Philippines, it's all flickers, and it's still the Purify in the hand.
Dreams here got caught early on. 2 first blood. Oh, wait, but he didn't get killed because Kadita. But early on, it's always Philippines who have a bit more aggression, a bit more room to play. They're rotating really well early on.
But with the Thalassophobia, the blessing of the ocean, Dreams is just so much harder to pick off, and this is what they're trying to abuse right here. If the Filipinos want to go for those pickoffs early on, it's going to be very, very difficult because all the targets are either tanky, mobile, sustainable, or like Taz right here, he has crowd control immunity.
I remember this being a super slow game early on because there's not much that can happen. Melissa versus Leslie is definitely going to be a lane that Melissa wins, that Melissa can bully Leslie on because of the dolls, right? You can actually take her out of the invisibility. So, Soriano's just not going to have a good time. Imam's going to be forced to rotate towards that gold lane a lot. And you can see here, Brand's already bullying Soriano. Even though Soriano gets a better trade there, he was able to already stop Soriano from getting a few minion waves.
So right here, with the total spawning, aggression is being engaged by the Indonesians. And that Yeeve pick, man, it's a lot of damage and so much utility that is such a
Both just playing it really safe, right? They're trying their best to actually claim some control over the game with some skirmishes, but they decided to back off because there's no real reason to look for those kind of fights. They don't have the resources to actually dive on, or to go for those crazy aggressive movements, because both of the teams now, for in terms of mid control, are quite even, and even in the lanes.
Look for more picks early on. They're gonna have to build a
This is what's very, very interesting, right, guys? Take a look at this. HADJI is actually the one who sent out to that top side to clear out the mini wave, and Psychots is waiting, opening up the map, just waiting there on the turtle.
snowball here in the first few neutral objectives.
if they don't snow
So because of this, like, Philippines are confined to this area. They can't really open this up because they're a bit too scared, and Psychots finds it. See, this is why the YuZhong, that's why it's so controversial, right? Why didn't the YuZhong get banned? That's the big question that a lot of Filipinos have. For me, it's because the Fanny. You need to ban the Fanny against Taz. Fanny's Taz is probably the best Fanny I've ever seen. I said it before in MDL. And in IESF, he's only played it once. He has 100% win rate on it. And that's the hero that, again, was just too much to handle, too much to let go. They had to go for a ban towards Fanny. The Joy in 1-1 as well. That just, you need to. Against Brands, the 1-1 is too much to let go. And the Joy, just busted hero. So that's the reason YuZhong wasn't banned, in my opinion, right? A lot of people are saying that, like, oh, there's another hero that could have been picked up. No, it's just because of the bans, because they were in the second phase, or because they were in the second pick, they were in the red side. They can only, yeah, that's the only ban they could go for. I don't think banning the YuZhong would have been wise. Joy 1-1 Fanny. I don't see how you can replace any of those heroes here in the bans.
It's actually committing on to dreams right now with Luna coming in. That's the rough waves pop
And this is why Kadita is so annoying.
to get out of that.
She's so good at getting out of these, like, situations, man. Pop that rough waves, pop that oddity, get that passive in, that HP. And again, you're just playing it slow, not really too much aggression. Imam tries his best to open up to try to look for, like, a feather airstrike, but it gets zoned
World manipulation,
so low.
low. Still, time that wings by wings
This is a crazy play. I remember this. Imam stayed.
here for Team Philippines.
I want to look at this again.
Needs to back off. Huge
He maneuvers himself in a way where it looks like he recalls, and he comes back into the bush.
for the brands to pick up the shield here. Imam gonna be
Oh my god.
that's a clutch movement by Imam. He gets out.
So well played, man.
Indonesian members
So well played.
to be able to get
See, that's not a default play. If you're that low, you should never stay, usually. But again, they're able to pull it off. Pro play, man. Completely different beast.
play the two low members from the side of the Philippines, but the Philippines read through it and counter it back. Right now, the Philippines have some more momentum to work with, and the turtle is up. Will they contest right here, knowing that as far as heroes goes in the early game, they are at a disadvantage, and it seems like Indonesia might just let it go.
better setup right now with a divine judgment as well, but bringing Taz out for the retribution to come through from Del Rosario to secure the second turtle of the game. It's Philippines who are able to withstand, and again, they're coming back, equalizing in gold.
They're equalizing in gold, but the Indonesians have taken a lot of HP, and of course the gold shield.
Yeah, it's just a trade, standard trade, right? You can see Philippines. They wanted to get that top side pressure. They went towards that top side river. They got the turtle, more control, sent more members down. But Indonesia, they responded by looking for a trade on the opposite side of the map. So they went to the bottom lane, and yeah, they just got some damage done onto the turret. They didn't get an objective just yet, but it's some poke done.
Stages that are going to have to rely heavily on that Yi.
Oh yeah, by the way, in this game, I feel like for me, it's still Indonesia who has the better draft. But if it goes to the late game, Blacklist or Philippines have the better draft.
Maybe Dova with better airstrike, and Jabrab, who jumps in with a flicker, finding that kill. Brands now to go away, still able to kind of ban.
What's up, Cloudy?
Comes in with that stun, picking up a double kill for Philippines. Even Soriano getting out. Taz now in the midst, still able to escape. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Philippines.
The Philippines definitely come out on top here, taking out the gold.
That was a good punish by Philippines. Like, initially it was really good by Indonesia. They were able to find the pick, but then it was punished.
And against Baxia, if he is behind you guys, that's going to be so difficult to deal with. And Soriano instantly equalized the current situation. Let's take a look at that replay. Instantly engaging onto Villaluna, but as a result, HADJI gets jumped on. He pops the real manipulation to try and buy a bit more time, but even Brands gets taken out right here. And you can see that in a messy fight. Both teams can come
Whoa.
out on top, but
He got shocked too.
Philippines, this is what they like to do. Again, playing around that gold lane. Dreams, though, again, this is getting personal. Another engage onto Villaluna. In that damage. It's all to distract from the Eternals. Taz and Psychots are onto it. With a man advantage, Philippines will look to try to commit onto this.
It's actually, I said a man advantage because again, Brands was dead, but they got Villaluna low.
Disengaging with the help of Dreams. Philippines,
Damn, I didn't notice. Brands was 0-3 and 0.
both teams, they just decide to back off and to rebuild.
He did so much this game, I remembered, even though he got dove on.
that turtle as well.
I did not realize that he was 0-3.
They keep trying to go for engages onto Villaluna.
That's what's crazy, right? With the amount of resources he has, that he's already behind against a Leslie. How is he actually able to withstand?
As the Indonesians would want them to be.
7 minutes in, only a 1,000 goal lead here for Indonesia. Even less, actually. That's 700 around. Zero play going to be popped in now. Villaluna looking for the play. Brands able to spot them out, canceling that.
Good opener there by Brands, like stopping that conceal play.
Philippines are trying their best to again.
Just again, that vision battle, that setup battle. Both teams are trying their best to clear out the waves to get some pressure on the board, but
That pressure.
it's not working right now.
Everyone in that bottom side, but they have to be very careful around that top lane.
Here again, you can see mid lane. Once Philippines pushes it in, Indonesia comes in. They push up that top side again, and they're already building here. Psychots in a position to look for that engage, to look for someone who rotates towards that top lane.
Filipinos can play with.
And they're not really looking for the siege. They're actually just there to try to catch someone.
If the Filipinos fall for it, the mutual objectives are not upright here. So both teams, they have time to try and make creative plays of their own.
It's all about the setup again, right? Mid control, pushing into waves again, just building.
It's just such a slow game because both teams are playing for setup, and both teams are just waiting for the neutral objective to spawn instead of just going for the fights, because there's not real there is no reason to actually go for any fights right now, like to force any fights, right?
If they play this way, Raj,
For both teams, because they're dead even. Just it's a good opener there by Imam. Jermaine gets caught
openers though,
slow.
Philippines to get that vision down.
This positioning, just vision, but this is a really good, oh, this wasn't the one where the pot up used flicker.
Side river, that's a massive resource burn
Yeah.
before the Lord fight.
Feather airstrike and bravest fighter gone before the Lord fight.
Of taking out your engage tool before
So this is why you can see Taz is just going ham, right? And because the mid wave was already pushed in, that conceal play is just gone for nothing, right? There's not really much that Philippines can do with that information. So they go to the mid lane again. They get the better pressure there. They clear it out. Indonesia, instead of contesting for the pressure in the mid lane, they rotate towards the bottom side. Look at that, right? They rotate towards bottom here. So they're just trading because Hijime can clear it out alone. And now they can actually use this again to get the turret. This is so good. This is such a good movement, like such a good rotation by Indonesia, forcing the pot up over there, and they're already playing the Lord Dance here. They don't know where the other members are, so they're just waiting for them to reveal themselves, right? Because Taz is already like going on it.
Now in the mid stage of the game with the Lord spawn in, as Indonesia will have more control here. Philippines looking to again.
And Indonesia, like the way they play, right? Usually you would send your XP laner to the side lane alone. You would not want to go for this clumped up like kind of strategy. But because they want to go for this, they just completely let that go. They don't care. This is what they set their eyes on, and they're completely fine with committing onto it. So now that these guys are seen, Indonesia make the move. They're like, oh, okay, so they're there. Now we can actually look for it. Because we have the better position, we're just going to go for the engage first. Villaluna, very good. This is a very good play. Like, that was... Villaluna gets Taz and the Lord comes over. That was a good engage by Indonesia. They tried to force it. They did all that they could, honestly, but it was just such a solid play. It comes to the mechanics, right? Because I feel like they're in that position. Indonesia definitely had the advantage, but Philippines were able to recover really well there. Villaluna with the red tree. Well, not with the red tree, with the divine judgment to stop Taz from getting the red tree.
damage, but they are not immune to the dive potential. And just like that, Feather airstrike has been used, and it's being used so often and so aggressively by Imam.
That feather airstrike again, such a problem for Indonesia to deal with right now. As with the Lord pushing in that bottom lane, they are going to look for some sieges. Soriano already in that bottom lane with the support, with the vision provided by Depada and Villaluna. They're looking to siege down some more, but it's again just Indonesia who are choosing often to give.
Again, just the standard here. Push that bottom side with the Lord. They go to the mid lane, send more players over there to pick up that turret. and they find Dreams as well.
The instant fall coming in from Soriano and Imam to pick it up. Now it's the mid lane tier 2. Philippines are doing super well in the siege. Every single turret falling now, as that's perfect setup again for the top lane tier 2. The Feather Airstrike taking away a whole lot of HP from HADJI.
And they get the tier 2 as well. They just wrapped, they took all the turrets with one Lord. Crazy.
Every time they figure out that the fight is on, they can just go and they can catch the members of the Philippines. But it's a reverse.
Oh, that is such a good pick. Yeah, so good. But this was basically the start to the comeback. They get the petrify, they get the kill. That's a 1-for-1 trade for the losing team. That's worth it. Dreams jumps in as well. Good disengagement. You can see here. Just look at the reaction time of the flicker here from Soriano and the Purify. Because that's a petrify. Imam instantly got out. Soriano had to flicker before. That's so good, man.
Beautiful disengage from Philippines. A beautiful read by the members, both using the flicker and the Purify.
That was such a tense situation for the
Oof, so well played. But this gave Indonesia some more control to play with, because now they have the man advantage technically for a few seconds. They could use it to, again,
Reaction time.
push in a few more waves, like the bottom lane, the top lane, right? Slow pushing back to Philippines.
Absolutely perfect.
And this is a good play. The pot up just
Stepping into that late
ults and gets a flicker. Yeah, this was the player.
engage by Kadita over towards Dreams. Psychos
And there's not much they could do here. Psychos tries his best to look for the play, but no, it's not really gonna. Yeah, it's not really gonna work out here. It's still worth it for Philippines. 2-for-1.
for one again in favor of Philippines.
Dreams tries to Filipinos understand that he has limited
Now it's just a shove by Philippines here. The top lane. They know they have pressure. They're gonna go for the Lord. Luna clears out the mid lane, and they go towards that Lord side
Downside of not having
here. But because Indonesia has spawned back in, they decide to again stay in that mid lane. Wait for. Is it again? It's about like outthinking one another. Philippines were trying to outthink Indonesia, outwit Indonesia by staying in this bush right here with the mini wave still even, because they expect Indonesia to clear it out before they actually go for the Lord. But Indonesia say no, I don't care. I'm gonna go for the Lord right here. And even Psychots here. Psychots always never cares about mini waves. You can see Psychots leaves the mini wave. He doesn't care. He just goes straight for this. And Dreams really just like Dreams was doing it like really well. He played that really well. He jumped in, got Imam, got enough space. He dealt damage to Soriano for HADJI to take the Lord. That was because the Dreams.
the Philippines here are absolutely styling, but the Lord was given over to Indonesia with only Dreams and Psychos left to defend. It seems Philippines want to look for the end.
15 seconds for brands to respawn right here. The Filipinos, they might just go for the 4v.
Again, it's Dreams and Psychots, man. There's not much they could do here. Because Soriano can't hit. Soriano reveals himself, and instantly they have to back off. This is so well played by both.
Deals so much damage. That's a snipe.
Dreams dies, but it's completely worth it because the Lord was already pushing up top, and now the mini waves are spawning in with the buffed Lord version of the mini waves coming in, and the players are all just jumping as well. This is crazy right here. Viluna gets a very good Divine Judgment. There's no follow-up initially, but the pot up does so much here.
Massive with the go away, dealing out a whole lot of damage as the pot up soaks in so much in the front line.
Oof.
Cristiano still in the midst, again dealing the true damage on towards the Indonesian members. The pot up running back, taking low, flickers out, gets back to safety. A 1-for-1 in the end.
A very good try by the Indonesians, trying to make a fight when the Philippines
So crazy, these fights, man.
damage.
This is I had a lot of fun casting this game, guys. Like, this game was so good to cast. So fun. Because it was back and forth constantly. There was no one, like, in the lead. Because even right here, Indonesia are behind, but it does feel like they have the lead because they're pushing in, right? Dreams. Oh my god, baiting out the Purify again. This time without his Petri, right? So it's a free Purify, baited out. They get a mid lane turret.
He's looking for an engage, but it will not happen.
Then Indonesia back off again. Ooh. And then they just play inside their base, because again, there's not really much to go for right now. They've lost one base turret, but it's luckily in the mid lane, so they're constantly going to be able to micromanage it. And Philippines, they're definitely not going to be looking for a crazy siege right now. They're waiting for the neutral objective. So both teams are just going to play it passively again. Just trading sides on the map and going for vision.
Mom does not have a Purify, so that is a factor that the Indonesians can count on if they want to engage, because both Petrifies from Indonesia are still available.
9 seconds for the enhanced Lord. Still, it's an enhanced Enhanced Lord. Not yet that Evolved Lord. It spawns in the 18th minute of the game. But I do feel like it's going to be both teams looking for that Evolved Lord. Both teams will just try to dance around the Lord, play with waves in the side lanes, and again, just force a mistake from one another.
See the differences? So Philippines decide to slow push that bottom lane. Meanwhile, Indonesia slow push that top lane. The Padap rotates, but Psychots doesn't rotate to the bottom lane. Instead, waits here and he pops it. See, it's like, again, they're just trying to outsmart each other. Philippines are used to, like, again, waiting for that default play to happen, but Indonesia, they just go for it. It's crazy. And Philippines are just like baffled. They're like, what? The mid wave wasn't cleared out. The bottom lane wasn't cleared out. Why are they going for this fight? It's just outthinking. Indonesia played it really well. They really outsmarted Philippines here. That was crazy. Because again, it's not the standard play. The right play to go for, or the efficient play to go for, would definitely be clear out the mid lane before you go for anything too crazy. Clear out those side lanes. But here they don't care. They go for the fight. They had the mid lane pushed in. They just went for the fight and they won. They got the Enhanced Lord now.
Given over to Indonesia. Still an Enhanced Lord. I think it was a wise decision by Philippines to look just to recall, to back off, to not commit, and to play around.
So good. And now it's back again to them just setting up. Slow pushing every single wave except for the mid wave. The mid wave just going to be shoved in. Lord up top, bottom side. We got that mini wave pushed.
No room for mistakes. Taz jumping in, bringing Del Rosario back, but Luna finds the Divine Judgment on towards Psychots.
Yeah, that Divine Judgment onto Psychots.
Soriano finds the kill. Taz gonna go massive on the back line as the pot up does the same. With a Raven Fighter on the 3. He just knows
The pot up, man. Oh my god.
getting it petrified. A beautiful win Russian. The pot up versus
Good cover by Taz. Dreams gets Imam.
Del Rosario.
What a fight. What a team fight, man.
With the bot up as well. They're looking for it. The bot up jumps in. Taz gonna be able to disrupt some damage as Brands goes into the mid lane. Clearing the base turret up. The bot up with the Bravest Fighter again. Saving the game for Philippines and taking Taz down for a double kill.
Well played, man. Well played by both teams. That was crazy. The pot up is styling, bro.
And it looks like they have the advantage here. Dash timers though. 37 seconds.
Edward's so good, bro. Edward's so good.
Right now, the Filipinos have a window where they have more members, but just take a look at that previous fight. Look at the engage. It just starts everything up for the Indonesians. And there's just not enough damage coming in from the Filipinos. They were not set up for this fight. And of course, Dreams comes in from the side. And it was sketchy. Everyone was so low. But fortunately for both these teams, 2 to 3 members were still able to survive. HADJI now picks up that brute force breastplate as well. So it's going to be a lot more tanky against the pad up as well as Soria. But now with the wave explore.
The pot up is making miracles.
This is the reason, like, it's just so tough. Because there's no real opener here for Philippines except for the pot up, right? So if Luna opens up that way, he's gonna get bursted down almost every single time. It's
Is the moment
no,
for Indonesia to look
you can't.
or to play around that evolved Lord with Luna spawning back in 26 seconds.
There's a massive wave in the bottom side, but the Indonesians opt to go for control, for setup in the Lord pit. The Filipinos are looking for an opportunity, but with 15 seconds to go until their main engage tool, their main pickoff person.
Let's see. The lanes are now properly set up by Indonesia, right? They pushed in the wave before they go. They go for it, and Philippines now are actually the ones who are trying to ignore the lanes, and that's it. There was like little. See, oh my god, it's so tough because Brands dies, but again, it's so good for like Indonesia at first, right? Because they can actually sustain back up. They have the members like YuZhong who can sustain. And this is the reason they are actually able to like win out of these long, prolonged fights. Meanwhile, because Philippines need to really rely on their backline to deal damage. Soriano and Imam. This is a crazy like steal by Luna, by the way. I don't know how he did it. I almost lost my voice just right here, dude. Let's just replay that and let's put the volume up.
The retribution battle, Del Rosario coming in! Villa! Luna with the steal! Still, Philippines are in this game!
I almost lost my voice there, guys. Oh my god, that should not have happened. That steal.
Happening for Philippines. A member down, 2 members down. The Queen is still able to save the Philippines with the evolved Lord take. And now with Soriano, with the Pada spawning in, they might actually be able to capitalize on the fact.
There's still 5 members available for the Indonesians though, so the Filipinos needs to be very, very careful on how they want to approach this. Dreams already waiting for an opportunity, but look at this kite back. Look at
Yeah.
this.
But see, they overextended here and they got punished. And Dreams, man. That back line is just... They can't play. They can't. Like, they're always getting engaged like that. They're not allowed to play. Dreams and Psychots are refusing them the opportunity to play. What are you supposed to do? You can't do anything. That's why I really don't like the Leslie. You can't do anything. You can flicker out of one, but not the other. Oh, man.
This kind of storm. Indonesia making a play with the mid wave, looking for an opportunity right here. Can the Filipinos clear it out?
This is a crazy defense. Good micromanagement. And, dude, Imam is so fast. Like, holy shit. He fucking buys the item and he uses first ability. What the heck? He's... What? Oh, my God. He swapped while he was... yeah, this guy is fucking too good. This is so well played by Dreams, man. Honestly, like, Dreams is... He deserves the MVP for sure. He's doing so much for his team.
76 seconds. The next Lord, yet again, will be contested, and we have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
We do have a game, Arashi. This is a game.
They're all up on their feet. This is a game to watch. My goodness, Arashi. Let's slow the tempo down. Let's talk about the items, man.
At this point, everyone has items, but the pad-up knows that he is right.
Full items here. There's nothing much to like... It's just like...
They need to make sure that Dream...
It just comes down to execution. It comes down to like how they're able to rotate. And this is such a... What a read, dude.
Mortari is going to be down. Dreams is still dead. 60 seconds on the death timers. 24 minutes in. What do Philippines do?
They have a chance to go for the end right here. The waves are not pushing in because the base turrets are still available. But if Villa Luna can get a huge pickoff, there is potential. And it seems like the Filipinos recognize it. They're going for it. We have to be careful about Dreams trying to go for the back door, the flank.
So much
Here, oh my God, I can't believe they actually like defended. It's so well played.
Philippines again.
That damage, man. I swear to God, the damage from the revamped Eve.
Fast. It's still in the base. Marching, walking down. Del Rosario in the front still. They're all protecting the back line. Soriano and Imam. These are the two winning conditions, but they bought enough time. They've cleared enough waves to look for the Lord now, and that's what they're gonna do. Rotating over towards that bottom side river.
On the top side, though, the wave is pushing in favor of the Indonesians. So if the Indonesians want to play the long game, they have an advantage, and the Filipinos will be the ones...
This is, oh my God, it's such a good play by Indonesia here. The rotations, right? You can see, because Philippines looked for the Lord instantly, Indonesia were actually looking to split push. The pot up rotates, and Philippines are forced to actually cancel the Lord. Because the mini-wave is pushing in, because there was that push threat. Oh, man. Both teams are like playing it so well here, man. It's like a chess game.
Split push threat from happening.
And they're not clearing the wave in the middle side as well. And it's down to the... And in this situation, it does seem like the proactive maneuvers are available for the Indonesians. Can they dive towards the back line? Will the back line, Soriano and Imam, be able to survive from the aggression? Because if they do, that is a huge problem for the Indonesians. But that is a massive if.
Even with Flicker, even with
After this, I'm going to have to open the door for Cloudy, guys.
because of the sheer amount of CC and the sheer amount of time.
And because of the top... see, this is why the base turret is so important, guys. Okay, base turret is so important. Because look, top lane is constantly pushing the pot up here. He has to clear it out, but I don't think he has like the damage items, right? So he can't actually clear out the waves super fast. And that's why here Indonesia have like so much more pressure to play with. They're so much more relieved, right? Like the pot up is slow pushing that top lane, but it still won't be enough. It really still won't be enough. Dreams almost gets caught here.
It won't be enough. The Indonesians are still on...
Because it's super minions, guys. Super minions in the top lane will win. It will constantly be pushing towards Philippines. So that's why Indonesia are not committing. That's why they're actually just playing the long game here. Because they know that the longer this goes, the more they'll have to play with. Look, top lane already winning the mini waves, even though it was slow pushed by the pot up. So now that's why you could see Philippines went for the play, right? They just forced it because that's the only thing they could do. Indonesia respond. That was a good disengage, right? That was a flicker by Soriano. Indonesia disengage properly as well. They know that now Soriano doesn't have the flicker. He was low. He can't come back into the fight because there's so much dive potential. That's why Villa Luna was completely ignored. I've seen a lot of question marks and a lot of comments saying that like, oh, Blacklist just did not want to. Why didn't they want to commit, etc.? It's because again, it's a man disadvantage here. Soriano's backing off. There's no like they can't go for that fight. They're gonna lose. They got the Lord. They got what they needed. They can just play for it. The mistake that they made is, I think, right about here. I remember the pot up used the Bravest Fighter here, and he got knocked up. He got bursted down, and he died instantly without the back line. It's done. Here, yeah. A bit too aggressive. And that, I swear, man. Yeah, that Eve. God damn. GG, well played. Well fucking played. When both teams are so good at macro, they're gonna rely on that micro, right? In the end, they're so good. They keep on trying to outsmart one another. GG. The Ronaldo celebration. Ronaldo. Well, yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go ahead and leave a like. Comment down below of what you think. If you have a different opinion towards me, if you think I missed anything during the analysis or the reaction segment here, go ahead and tell me in the comments. Subscribe as well, because 60% of you guys who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed. So go ahead and let me know. Comment, subscribe, man. Come on. We'll talk about it. Peace out. See you guys in the next video, which is Sarcast tomorrow.